then Micah, and then we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, when I asked that question earlier about talking to somebody about a project, and you said that's a no-no, I'm asking Joe to ask the state's attorney for a written legal opinion about whether or not a county board member can meet with somebody and discuss a idea, because it's at the time when they call you, there's nothing else but an idea. It's just is this a good idea or a bad idea? If I tell them I think it's a good idea, don't mean I'm going to vote for it because I didn't hear the evidence from the public hearing. I just tell them I think, yeah, go ahead and move on it. I'm not telling them how I'm going to vote. I'm not saying anything other than I like the project. So in order to go forward with this, if you're going to say that, I want a written legal opinion. I never asked for that from you yet, but in the past I've asked for stuff, but this time it's important because everybody on this board got to be getting the same type of calls I'm getting. And if they don't talk to them, at least just talk to them and find out what they want. What the hell are we there for? So that's why I'm saying, I think that, you're going strictly by the law as you're interpreting it. So if you can show me a legal written opinion from the state's attorney that says you cannot talk about anything that's an idea with a constituent, because that's all that is when they call you and it hasn't gone to land use. There's no idea whether it's going to go to land use or not. They just want to get your opinion whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. And you can't tell them what you think.
Gentlemen, is that something that you think you can draw up for Mr. Balich, or do you have to separate it between a public hearing or a land use case versus any other case?
Perhaps if we got we think we need a little more than, so the question of whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I may think that having another grocery store is a good thing because it makes my day easier to have a grocery store outside my neighborhood. That doesn't, there's a lot of factors here. So we need to know exactly the question that's being asked. So whatever is submitted to us, if that goes through your rules, we can address that as per the rule.
Okay, it sounds like they want a specific question, Steve, and I don't know.
Very specific. If Chuck calls me up and says that he wants to build a ice skating ring on his property, and he says, "What do you think?" And then I look at it and I go, "I don't see a problem with it." I'm not saying I'm going to vote for it. I'm not saying I'm not going to vote for it. I'm just saying, looks like a good idea. The neighborhood needs one. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying it looks like a good idea because I never say, well, the neighborhood needs it. They might, but I'm not. I'm just saying, okay, I think it's a good idea. So what in the heck are we there for if we can't tell a constituent that it's a good idea? Tell me. I mean, in other words, I'm supposed to tell everybody to go jump in the lake?
No, that's not been our advice at all. But I think that what I'm saying is reducing it to writing and then presenting it to leadership is important because you said two things that I think are completely different. I don't see anything wrong with it. Well, that can be interpreted with, I think it's legal. I think it's a good idea is a different thing. And when this all happens, and I'll just put it out there, you'll be sitting in a deposition and they'll say, well, Mr. Balich, didn't you say this was okay? And you'll say, well, what do you mean? Well, didn't you say you'd vote for this when you talk to the person? It muddies the record. That's all we're saying. And we're not.
But it's Kevin, this is pre even going to land use or any idea if it's going to land use.
Well, and that's the point.
They're just asking, should I move forward with it? Maybe.
Correct.
I'm not telling them I'm going to vote.
Reducing that to writing, what you're exactly asking us, is important for us to issue a written legal opinion. So if you want to present something to leadership through your county board rules, we will certainly address that question if it's brought to us. But we need that also reduced to writing so that we're not chasing a target. Well, and I want to put a final point here is we're not saying, and I keep going back to this, you have two roles here. You are elected officials. Absolutely. You have those things. And for, 80% to 90% of your work, you are responding to constituents, you're taking meetings, you're doing those sort of things. The Constitution, not Matt, not anything else, has said in these things, you can only consider, and there's court cases abound about what you can consider. Matt and Kevin aren't telling you, or State's Attorney Glasgow is not telling you that you can't do your job. We're saying that a judge is going to go strictly by the law. That is, here's what the law is. We can show you what the case law says. And if your answer to that question is, how am I supposed to represent my district? The judge is going to say, well, that's not a LaSalle factor. If you're the only thing you're doing here is representing your district for whatever thing outside, that's going to cause you a problem. That's all Matt and I care about. We're not trying to do anything else other than to get to a situation where the judge says, and it's going to say at the end of the opinion, the state or the county board of Will County acted arbitrarily and capriciously in denying this zoning, or they should not have granted the zoning because they did not consider the relevant information.
Well, specifically, I would say that if you're not telling them how you're going to vote, you're just telling them that your idea is a good idea.
Yeah, Steve,
The people like that.
he
Come on.
understands.
What are you supposed, if you come to me and you ask me, is it a good idea to wear a winter coat when it's 90 degrees? And I tell you, no, it ain't a good idea. Then you walk away. Or if, you know what I'm talking about?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying yes or no to their idea. I'm not telling them how I'm going to vote, just yes or no. And you're saying you can't do that? That limits us to any conversations about anything.
No, we're talking specifically about land use cases.
I know that. Any kind of conversation concerning land use that completely takes everything out of the picture, and a person that doesn't know needs just a little direction. Do I like it? Do I not like it?
Perhaps maybe the answer is, hey, you should
And
discuss that
I'm
plan
not
instead.
saying how you vote. That's the important thing. You never
Okay,
tell them how
Steve,
you're going to vote.
We
So,
understand.
I'm asking, Jim, can you ask Joe to get me a written legal opinion on an idea can't be discussed with a constituent?
I don't know what Jennifer has anything to do with it, but
Well, Jennifer
what a-
probably agrees with me.
well, I think a lot of us do, Steve. A lot of us do. We do want to
I
talk
mean,
to
I think this
constituents.
is stupid.
All right.
I never heard such stupid things that you can't talk to somebody about an idea.
Okay. All right. Sherry Williams, Leader Williams has not had a chance to speak. Let's make your closing question, please.